Abby and Michelle. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for
Good to
having us.
be here.
Yeah. So you've got an interesting story. Especially it's really timely with what's going on in Iowa right now. With there's bills that protect women's spaces coming through the Senate. There's a bill about gender identity, and I would love for you to just share a little bit of your background experience at college. Just kind of tell us, about your experience and then how you first became aware of the college's policy around bathroom and shower facilities.
Yeah. So, being a student there, I was a sophomore, and up until sophomore year, I really never had any issues with, all these diverse amounts of students. We had a great variety, and my freshman year, all the classes and everything went really good. Policies didn't really impact my education at all and my stay there. I was staying at the dorms, and that made quite the difference kind of as I moved to sophomore year, just because I was with a whole different group of kids then. And as a sophomore year, we kind of come around, we noticed that there were a lot more of the transgender students that started coming in. And it kind of just impacted how I lived, just seeing them on a daily basis and eventually kind of having them interact with us within the bathrooms and our locker rooms. And that's kind of where my mom really interacted with them, was in the bathrooms and the locker rooms. And that's, our space to be vulnerable as women. That's where we um, is the space that we change on a daily basis, that we expose ourselves. And we were never comfortable with having a biological man step into that. And so when confronting the college about that, we got a lot of backlash, as if we were the ones kind of doing something wrong and not being accepting of them. And so it really just kind of trampled our rights a little bit and kind of stabbed us in the back as far as not being heard or included in this college.
So you weren't the only one that was having issues and concerns about this.
No. We had a lot more staff members at Wartburg, and a lot more students just kind of reach out to me and say, yeah, that's not okay. We don't feel comfortable with that. And we would never. But, a lot of these parents don't know that this is going on with their children at this college, being so far away from home. They don't understand that, this has become a growing problem this year, especially, and that there are more students that are taking advantage of the fact that they can go into a bathroom without, being penalized for that.
So when you say these interactions, can you describe them, or what were they like, or how often were they, or?
Yeah. So within the dorms, I guess you have to have a key card to get into the bathroom. If you are a man, your key doesn't work if you're a woman to get into the bathroom. And then same with the women's. But throughout the college, there are those gender neutral bathrooms, or the bathrooms that the women bathrooms and the male bathrooms that don't have the gender key cards. And, I've experienced it a couple of times where I'll go into the bathroom and there's going to be a transgender male that looks somewhat like a female. I mean, not to my extent, or to the extent of an actual female, but just kind of walking in there and going to the bathroom and then washing your hands at the sink. It's just an unpleasant feeling, just kind of almost like a guilty feeling, and like this feeling in your stomach where it just drops and you just feel like it's unnatural and it's uncanny. Yeah. And very unsafe. The bathrooms are not to nice enough to the extent where they have the stalls that don't have the space underneath or above. And so at any moment you could have a biological man, come into your personal space and with, if, I mean, Lord willing, they don't, but if they had bad intentions, they could definitely take advantage of you. And that was something that was just unsettling for me. And I know other people, my friends and a couple other people that I've talked to about it, they said that they would feel the same way. It's not a good feeling.
Right, right. And what about the shower facilities? Did you know anyone or experience any issues there?
I didn't experience anybody on my floor who had taken a shower or been in the bathroom undressed while I was. But I know that when she was in the locker room, she almost had a couple encounters where he had been in there at the same time as her. And never should a female have to walk out of a female bathroom because they feel targeted by a biological man. And so
Right. And Michelle, that was you then. You
Yeah, my experience, because I've been the supervisor of one of the dining facilities there, and this was the first year probably having a couple of students that were transgender, and one has dropped out and didn't come back, but the one, he's a male that wants to be, she, her. And that's when it started for me realizing we have a locker room. We hang our coats, we have lockers, and it has a 2-stall bathroom. And my coworker came to me and said that he's using our locker room. And so that's when I went to I went to my supervisor, which went to human resources, and basically was just kind of told, if, just use a different bathroom. And then I went and I'm like, well, this isn't just a bathroom, this is our locker room. We change in there, and I know I have other young female students that are changing in there. And so it came to my attention then that they weren't going to tell these, transgender students that they couldn't use the restrooms, locker rooms. We just had to deal with it. It wasn't something the president wanted to take on. She said she already feels like she gets enough trouble with not being inclusive. And I said, well, I don't feel like you're being inclusive to us. Like, where's my right as a female to have a protected space? And so I went to the vice president for student life and the dean of students and talked with him about it. They said they're going to put a lock on the door, but they weren't going to disallow, transgender students from using that locker room. So at any moment you could walk in, he's in there, and that just gave me the uncomfortable feeling. I don't think I should have to check the locker room every time I go in to see, if he's in there, or any student. That's what my goal to them is. Like, this is just the beginning, it's like, this isn't just one student, and that student life campus is open very publicly. We have lots of people from the public. And I said this, for future going down the road, because there are no gender neutral bathrooms in that whole building. It's all male, female. There's nothing. And they're old stalls, they have huge gaps in the stall doors. And when I talked to him about it, he's like, well, are you uncomfortable with it, or are you unsafe? And it's like, it kind of took me back. It was like, well, both, I'm not safe. We had Gabby be done and leave the school. We had a 16-year-old that worked in the bookstore, and we're not comfortable. Wouldn't feel safe having her share those spaces with men. So,
and this is
we all three
to be
pulled out.
a private Christian school, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's difficult. And we passed a law last session that protected elementary, junior high, and high schools. So I'm not sure why they didn't extend that to colleges. I think that part of the challenge is the gender identities in the Civil Rights Code.
Yeah. I was told that too by the vice president for student life, that it's not a law. They weren't going to do anything about it because it's not a law. And it's like, okay, but
Yeah,
it's not safe.
Right. They could provide alternate facilities.
Yeah.
Without discriminating against anyone.
Yeah.
How about I thought you had said that this individual one week or day would dress like a woman and sometimes like a man, and would use whichever facility they felt like.
When he first started, he was using the men's restroom, and it was right before Christmas break that, I said, that particular day, he was looking a little bit more feminine. He's never been super feminine looking. You would never look at him and go, oh, that's a transgender, girl, and it was just that particular day. I remembered that he always kind of had some sort of eyeliner on, and maybe blush once, it wasn't like an everyday thing. And that particular day though, I had lip gloss on, and that was just kind of,
How we felt.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Empowering for him that day, that he thought, okay, well, I'm going to start using the women's. But up until that point, and since now I'm like more aware of it. And so I have to work a couple shifts, with him. And I basically just waited till he left. And then I went and used, the locker room to get my stuff and go home. But I don't think that's right, that I have to avoid my locker room.
Yeah, definitely
And wait
not.
around.
Definitely not. So ultimately you left the school and transferred.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes, yep. I go to a community college now. I'm enjoying it a lot better. And, never did I think that I would have to be more aware of the bathroom situation. However, kind of looking at how other colleges and facilities do that nowadays, they have bathrooms where the doors are fully closed. There's no gaps, there's no anything. It's like a separate room. And then the sinks are all shared. And so that's kind of their gender inclusive bathrooms, and still you have a lock on the door. There's no gaps, there's no way somebody could invade your personal space. And so that is something that I just feel is more inclusive as just a community college versus a private college. And it's not really that complex. It would be something that, instead of building a structure on Wartburg campus to make our homecoming football games look better, it would be something as, okay, let's provide a safer space for everybody to go to the bathroom and to change in the locker rooms. And so just kind of going to a community college, a different facility, I've just noticed that there are things that Wartburg could have been doing. And it wasn't just, oh, put a lock on the bathroom door or a lock on the locker room door. It was, there are people and bigger facilities that actually have thought about the safety of people going to the bathroom within these gender inclusive bathrooms.
Right, right. And you mentioned, I believe, that you had spoken with a police officer, and there was a previous year where
Mhm.
someone was raped in the bathroom.
Yeah, yep. At Wartburg, the floor that I was staying on, actually, there was a man, a young individual who had already gotten in trouble with the law, and he had been back at Wartburg. He was a student. He was using his key card to get into the bathrooms, and I believe it was 3 women he assaulted in the bathrooms. And thankfully, due to law enforcement, they got him. But it's still a horrible thing to have to experience, and especially for the college to have that kind of background to not take this more seriously. I mean, we are the most vulnerable in the bathroom, and this happened in the bathroom with 3 other women, and they have to live with that, the fact that their rights were trampled on. And now I would hate to see that happen again. And the college shouldn't wait for something like that to happen in order to make a change. They should really take an effect that something could happen, and you have to really act upon that and be prepared before it does.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. As a father of 3, I have 3 daughters, and they've all, 2 of them have been through college, and one will be going to college. And I'd hate to have to ask what their bathroom policies are
Yeah.
when we're deciding what college to go to. I guess it
Yeah.
would be Wartburg. Um, so, and honestly, as a dad, I don't think I'd feel comfortable with them sharing sinks in a bathroom,
Yeah.
because it's still a
Mhm.
closed room where women are vulnerable, and it
Mhm.
should
For
be a
sure.
private space in general, in
Yeah.
Yeah.
my opinion. But how would you like to see? And so you went to administration. You didn't get any help, and you both left the
No.
school,
Mhm.
and so you're
Yeah.
working somewhere else now.
Not yet.
Not yet. You just
I'll be looking.
you're not working yet. Okay.
No.
Yeah, and some would say that's a violation of women's civil rights.
Mhm.
Mm.
It's this idea that someone can change their gender from week to week without being diagnosed, without
Mhm.
actually making changes, physical
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah.
I was told a similar instance happened at DMAC in the
Mm.
culinary arts
Mhm.
program.
Yeah.
So it's not just a few colleges.
Mhm.
It's everywhere, and I feel like our legislators definitely need to do something about it. What would you
Yeah.
like to see done? How would you like to see things handled?
I think if they are going to allow this, you have to have safe spaces. You have to have gender neutral bathrooms, and you can't just worry about one side and not the other. And that's basically how I felt, and I was told that this is their home, and we're not going to tread on that. But it's like, okay, I have two daughters. One lives here, one works here. I work here. What about so um it's like you have to think about both sides and be inclusive to everybody, and you can't just focus on this one side. So um just make sure that there are gender neutral bathrooms that everybody can feel safe in.
Yeah.
And the students themselves, because I'm not saying that they're all out there trying to attack or hurt anybody. It's not comfortable for them. I don't feel either. I've heard one of my coworkers said that they have a transgender student that works there that they wait until they can go back to their room because they have I don't know if they give them private rooms then that have their own bathrooms, because there aren't enough transgender neutral, bathrooms on campus. There are basically I mean, very few. There really aren't. It is an old campus. I understand that, but we can make a difference. We can make the changes, and we need to.
Especially when it comes to the safety of our men and women. It's that's kind of something that I would hope to see, is that they would take that really in consideration, that this is not just for catering to somebody's wants. This is catering, like, we need to focus on the needs before somebody actually gets hurt. Somebody has gotten hurt, and some people have been violated already, and it's a terrible thing. And there's something that we can do to really prevent that from happening again. And that's something that we just need to really look at, versus who are we going to cater to? How can we help these people out more, feel more inclusive? Well, how can we be safe? How can we really keep others safe?
Yeah, it's okay to cater to people as long as you're not trampling on everyone else's
Hmm.
rights.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
said, if
Hmm.
they wanted to have a unisex bathroom or what, Hy-Vee, every one of their bathrooms is separated and unisex.
Mhm.
Anyone can go into any bathroom because it's a single
Yeah.
bathroom and they can lock the door. Um,
Yeah.
if I agree, if a college is going to allow that and help make those students feel more comfortable, then they should have their own facility
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shame that our young women and our women's rights are being so violated, especially in Iowa.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be the land of common sense, right? So
Right.
the
Oh.
beacon of light of common sense to the rest of
Right.
the country.
Yeah.
So, well, I appreciate you sharing your story and
Mhm.
for joining
Yeah.
us and for
Yeah.
being so brave to talk about it, because that's what we need to do. It's really through intelligent, respectful dialogue that we create positive
Yeah.
change. And so
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
I've had conversations with people that are gender nonconforming, and a lot of times they agree. It's
Mhm.
this different type of activist that wants to scream loud and say it's
Mhm.
Yeah.
discrimination and everything when we're just
Yeah.
trying to really protect everyone.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? What's next for you? What are your plans and goals?
I think for me, just to be really more cautious of like where I do look for a job, and I don't want to compromise my beliefs, and that's why I, kind of felt like I had to leave Wartburg because, and I shared that with them when I resigned, that I'm just not willing to compromise my beliefs. You guys seem to be going in one direction, and I'm not willing to go there. So I think just be more aware of, where I do go look for employment, make it
And it,
meaningful.
and it sounded like they tried to keep you, but they just weren't willing to.
And they did, yeah, they didn't want, to lose me. And my supervisors, it was hard because they're not the ones making the decision. It came from the higher ups. And so it was very hard, to leave them and the position that I had. I was respected, by the students and by, my staff. And so it wasn't on the one hand, it wasn't easy, but on the other hand, I just had to do what was right for me. And I didn't feel safe, continuing to share that space. And so yeah.
That's
For you?
great. Yeah.
As far as me, I guess for schooling, just kind of being more aware and as I continue on, I do want to spread more awareness, just kind of this and not let this kind of compromise my morals and my values. I'm gonna embrace the fact that I'm gonna be a little bit different. I'm not gonna go with the popular opinion. I'm not gonna settle for mistreatment, especially when it comes to my rights as a female. And so I'm just going to be a lot more aware of that, and especially take my time where I'm going for facilities for my workplace, my career, and everything like that.
And how do you, I know you've kind of touched on it, but how do you hope sharing your story and your experience will continue in this ongoing, or contribute to this ongoing discussion?
Just hope they make a law to protect, our women and men in colleges too. It's like, I appreciate all the work done to protect our students, because we do have a high school student and she deals with that, but knowing that she can go to school and I don't have to worry about that, that we don't. So I, pray that continues, up to the college level too. So, because they live there, it's their home too. So it's kind of scary when you send your kids there. There's already enough stuff to worry about. That's not something that we should have to worry about, sharing their space, with men or, women on the other direction.
And I would hope that more parents would kind of like step up, more people would find encouragement through other people's messages and other people's testimonies that they can step up too. I mean, this stuff happens a lot more frequent. It's just, you don't hear about it every day because some people are just kind of scared. And I understand that feeling completely. But when you do step up, there's a sense of pride for what you believe in, and you can really make a difference. So just kind of spreading the word to the people around us that, have similar views and could make a difference with their story too.
Yeah. And that's very admirable and very brave of you both. And I really appreciate it. I hope that our legislators show the same bravery this session when it comes to protecting your rights. Your rights are deserving of protection as well. So thank you for joining us. I appreciate you sharing your story, and I know that people will watch this, and I hope that they get some value from it and understand that this is going on in Iowa. This is going on every day in Iowa. In multiple colleges and universities. So thanks so much. And
Okay. Thanks for having us.
yeah.